This is Matt Finch, and I'm producing an extraordinarily low-tech video here. So go ahead and get your Renaissance Fair turkey leg and sit back for it, because we're going to be at roughly that level of technology, except for the computer in here. What this video is about is I'm going to cover as many of the adventures that are in Frog God Games' Quest of Doom 4 Kickstarter. We've had a lot of questions about where they're located in the Lost Lands, and so that's what I'm going to sort of focus on here, is just their location, not too much about the adventures themselves. There might be minor spoilers in here, so if you're going to be playing one of these adventures, go ahead and watch one of the other videos, because this one's not for you. So the first one that I'm doing, and the reason it's going to take me a while to get to all of these is that the canon portion of the introduction that tells us where these locations are is something that's written by Greg and then added to the draft, and it's basically the last step before it goes to Chuck for layout. And Chuck doesn't release partially laid out documents, so what that means is I have to chase down one particular individual draft of the manuscript, and I'm working on doing that. I think Patrick's going to be able to get them to me sometime today. I do have Awakenings, and I've taken a look at that. Awakenings is the adventure written by Steve Winter, who was one of the major contributors to the 5th edition D&D rules, and all of the old schoolers who play earlier versions of the game, Swords of Wizardry, probably recognize his name he was with TSR forever, so he's also very much got old school sensibilities in terms of the way that he constructs adventures. What the main topic here is, where is it located in the Lost Lands, and what's it all about? I'm going to click over to being able to read what it is in the introduction here. The canon portion says, this adventure can be placed in any land you choose as fits the needs of your own campaign. However, in the Lost Lands campaign setting, Awakenings is set in the southern marches of the Kingdom of Suli in the Borderland Province of Spain. When the characters first spot and then there's a big spoiler that I'm not going to talk about, they should be in the county of Vordon, probably on or near the South Road running between Kingston and Alaric. Now, what does that mean? Because that's a whole lot of word salad in terms of being able to picture it. And I have my map of the Sinar coast is located right there where you can't see. So I dug out another copy of it, and we're going to take a look at this. What we've got here. All right, here we go. There's the Kingdom of Suli. Okay, this is that South Road. No, it's not. My finger's not going in the right place. That is the South Road. This is the county of Vordon. Now, in terms of things that it's near, I'm going to have to do this way. It's just not working well. In terms of what it's near, this is where the city of Rembalo is located, with Rogues of Rembalo, which is also a first-level adventure. So the two of them may not work unless you need two first-level adventures. You might want to start in Rembalo and actually then go to Awakenings, because Awakenings is for first to third level characters, and Patrick tells me that at least in the 5th edition one, it's tuned a little bit toward the third level, so it's going to be slightly more difficult. On the other hand, your 5th edition characters are certainly going to level up in Rembalo as well, so that's sort of however you want to do that. Other things that it's near. Grollick's Grove over here is the starting point for Cults of the Sundered Kingdoms, which would take you way over to this part of the map if you went from there. Manas has some interesting adventuring opportunities in there, and you're going to see things moving sort of toward this area in this adventure. So what we've got here is basically something that sort of fits both into the genre of fairy tales and a little bit into the genre of Lovecraft, and I won't really, that Venn diagram can be all kinds of shapes, so I won't even try and go into that. But so anyway, that's the location. And then in terms of what that area is like, if you're not familiar with it, most of the borderland provinces is sort of roughly based on the French Provence, making its way into Germany in the era roughly between 1100 and 1250. But that's just very much the surface of what things look like. The what's underlying that, if you take a look at sort of Jack Vance's Cudgel books or Jack Vance's Lioness, you get a sort of idea, especially in Lioness, of how it is that a fairy tale medieval sort of society can blend itself almost in a spectrum sort of way into stuff that is a lot darker and a lot more swords and sorcery than you would expect by looking at the surface of the place. It's an area where there is a retreating empire, so you're left with areas where you've got very scattered populations, and you've got knights that are not necessarily chivalrous at all. A lot of the feudalism that's involved is brutal, although in the Kingdom of Suli it's a little bit more centralized, and the feudal system's a little bit more under control than it is in some of the other areas in the borderland provinces. So that's the location of Awakenings by Steve Winter, and I will move on in future videos in this series to talk about where the other ones are located. So please, again, in order to get those, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Take a look at the comments below. Leave a comment for sure if you want to leave one. We're probably going to embed this video in the Kickstarter itself just because it's informational. So go ahead and start playing your game. And like I like to say, just take it and imagine the hell out of it.